afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for January 6, 2017. So you can see it's about 17 minutes after the close. We had a great session in the Simpler Stocks Gold Room. Gold Room is a premium version of our silver site. Right now we have the $7 30-day trial for the silver site, which includes the chat room where I'm on from 9 to 10 in the morning. We have premium video, a lot more in depth than what you're hearing now. We have email alerts where I put out at least 6 stock ideas and show 6 futures charts every day. We also have a learning series, which is really exciting. Yesterday, I did a class on how to wiggle and also did a blog post on it. If you go to simpleroptions.com/blog, you'll find it. The next 6 weeks, I'm doing a 20 to 40 minute class. Every one of those then goes into here. Goes into on-demand classes, and every one of these is free as long as you have a subscription. Now, if you decide to do the second step, which is to go into gold membership, you go in here and upgrading to gold, you get the Trade the Open. You get me also in the afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Plus, if it's busy, I jump on other times. And then once a month, we have a 3-hour live trading class. Third Friday of the month expiration where you can make the most money. I get on for 3 hours. That goes with your subscription. Really good deal in here. We've had a tremendous positive response and hardly any cancellations once they're in there. It's amazing when people are doing well and being entertained. And don't get me wrong, people are a lot more entertained when they're making money and they're learning. So I'm a lot funnier if you're up 20% for the day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're always up that, but I'm just saying when you have a good day, it's a lot, I'm a heck of a lot funnier, that's for sure. So to go back on what the market's doing today, the day of the doji, the SPY closing in an indecision candle. Why? Because right now, ES is down all of 25. They were down 9 at their worst. They were up about 150 at their best. The reason is NASDAQ up 27. That's the good news. The Russell down 16. Yesterday, when it took 1 day for it to kick in, but when Janet Yellen came out and said they don't need to raise rates because of an overcooked economy yet, because we're not sure any stimulus measures are really going to work. What that did is it took a day to kick in. You had bonds out of nowhere go nuts once they realized that means we might not be as strong as you thought. And we had the Russell go straight down. Remember, after the election, with all the idea of infrastructure projects, this has gone nuts. The Russell's composed mostly of growth stocks. This was down. Bond market goes nuts. So just keep that in mind. You have the industrials down to all of 42 points. Really not much anything going on. SPX not doing anything now, 175. You had the transports down 63. Perfectly makes sense for the transports to be down, because that if the economy isn't going to purr along as much as you think. If you want to know what I mean in here, the transports went from the election 8,000. After the election, 9,500. 1,500 points. Don't forget, that's taken into giving a big benefit of the doubt that everything's going to run smoothly. Not a political opinion on my part. I'm talking about realistic, that there's a lot of moving parts that have to go together to have the infrastructure program even come out. Nothing, I'm not saying anything about any kind of political opinion. I'm just saying that it's now there's a little reality, and it's now sold off about 450 points. So just keep that in mind in there. Next thing in here, mid caps down a bit, down 12. Crude oil up 46 cents. Gold having a good day, up 15.70, with the dollar getting absolutely whacked. Look at this sell-off in the dollar. Right when you thought we were going to have another leg to the upside, we went straight down. They're testing support. Now, if that looks interesting, look at the chart of the DX here on the left. And look at the chart of the Russell on the right. Both growth-oriented. Notice that this had the leg up like this after the election. After the election, rally, bull flag didn't work. Bull flag, we'll see what happens and see if this comes down to test the underside. Very curious in here of how similar they are. Advanced decline today, down a net of about 325. Actually, it just started to looked weak on the opening, and then when the market sold off, it just wouldn't go any lower. It was a big tip-off. We weren't going to do a lot. VIX in here, down of all of 18. VIX futures down 14. The Chinese market doing much of nothing. GE Dow, which is the DAX, the way it's set up on Thinkorswim, up all of 0.21. TLT up 188. We've been recommending buying TLT calls for a long time, and it finally really kicked in today. Very exciting in there. So where do we go from here in the market? I think you see the toss-up and what's going on. I try to key off a number of factors. ES, I look at, obviously. I then will look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's in this thin zone right here. What do I mean by that? That the NASDAQ can hold right here. It's a little head and shoulders that could go right to 49.80. On the other hand, the Russell has been leading the market, and so is the transports. If this Russell, as you see here on the right, works off this oversold condition in a really poor way and has one more sell-off down here and breaks this whole thing and breaks this bull flag, that could start dragging down the NASDAQ and the Russell. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. I hope you have a chance to try to take us up on the $7 trial. We've literally had thousands upon thousands take us up on it, and we have one of the highest retention rates in the industry. So have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.